Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13 and has autism. We paint together, working on his fine motor skills. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings, and excuse me, and then I paint the rest. This happened yesterday, too. I started talking and coughing. So, like I said yesterday, I don't generally start off with my ruler, but I feel like this is where we're kind of going off to. So, here we go. I need one at the top. I always talk about, I have a tiny shake, and so I can't always draw straight lines, or I never, nothing's ever exactly the same. But that's okay. It's okay. So, you should be able to see most of it in the background. It's a dress. Let's see. I can move it without making anything fall. I did this one yesterday, and I had fun making it. And as exhausted as my day has been, I thought, you know what? I'm going to make another one. Kind of a little more, fall-ish colors, maybe. So, we'll see. We'll see what it turns out. I told my friend there's some days that I have so many things I'm supposed to be doing, and none of them are being done because it's just, you get into, it's hard sometimes for me to do things that I have to think about and make and actually make them make sense. So it's easier to just do things that don't make sense, if that makes sense. Oh, and the tired is still there. I've been up since 4, and then 2, and then 1. I went to bed. I know I was asleep close to 9 something. But then I was awake. And we've had we had a lot of snow this morning. It was like, I don't think they were expecting it to be. Okay, leave that alone because I'm making it too thick. I don't think they were expecting it to be as knocking stuff on the ground. That's what I do best. I don't think they thought it was going to be as much as it was, because it was gone by afternoon, but it was there a lot of the day. This one's up much higher than the other one was. So I'm just gonna make the dress longer. And we'll get it up here, don't worry. there was a lot of accidents and everything this morning. And I mean, don't mind me as I trample all over my words. I don't usually watch a lot of the news, so any quote unquote news reports that I would get, it would be like, a weather forecast on like Facebook or something like that. So I wasn't going anywhere today with Owen. He's on his holiday break. I don't know what the schools, I always call it Christmas break, but they don't go back until January 5th. And so today was one of the days that we just stayed home. Some days it's just easier if we just stay home. It doesn't hit him as hard. It doesn't, but he had kind of a hard day anyways. So, we had fun though. And then I had a lot of moments where it's just hard. Life and emotions right now are hard. Christmas is a hard time because I lost my brother a few years ago, and it's just not the same. I didn't get to see him that much because he lived in North Carolina, but that was my brother, and I knew that if I ever needed anything or just to talk to him, he was there. And, Owen knows that Uncle Richard is gone. He says he went to live in heaven. And, yes, he went to live in heaven. So it's just emotional. It's just hard. It's just, and I got my port taken out yesterday, which I'm excited about, but it's still, my strength isn't back. My hair isn't back. And, I always had really long hair, and this journey was a lot about my hair because it's so emotional for Owen. When he was little, he would cry and have huge meltdowns if I would even move my hair out of my face. It was just, when they hand you this beautiful baby that you've just been 9 months, and then when you do something like move your hair, and it makes him so sad because he thinks that I'm changing or that something's happening. It's emotional because you don't know, I wasn't taught how to handle a meltdown over hair because I didn't know my son was going to have a meltdown over hair. Like, I didn't know my son was going to have meltdowns over bananas. I didn't know my son was going to have meltdowns over streetlights and, just all of these things. And all I wanted to do was to be the best mom to my amazing son. And so when along came cancer, I cried. And it wasn't really because of the cancer itself, which I cried a lot about that too. But I cried because I knew how hard it would be on my son. And that made me very sad because there was nothing I could do, and I was going to lose my hair. So I talked to Owen a lot about it. And my hair was long. My hair was very long. My hair was down to my waist, and I had blonde, haha. I did air quotes the other, blonde hair. And, oh, that almost got too much there. So when I started really going through the chemo, I started cutting inches off of my hair, just kept going and going and going. Because I knew that when it came time, that it was going to be very hard on Owen. And so I got a little bit cut each time. And I finally got to the point where I was losing way too much of my hair. And so I had them shave it. And the cancer place where I was getting my treatments, they have a boutique there. And if you like comedy, I do comedy. And so if you look on my page, we did, my friends and I did a comedy show to raise money for the boutique, because they do it with charity donations and different things, and they'll give people wigs, scarves, different things. And I knew I couldn't really wear a wig with Owen because it would just, again, be too much for him to comprehend and deal with. And so I got my hair buzzed, and it felt good to get it and be ahead of it and to take charge of the moment and everything. And it happened, you know, it was what it was supposed to be. But it was very hard for Owen, and that makes it hard for me. So today, Owen has been, backtrack a minute, he's been really, he talks to anybody that has long hair and in a ponytail. He wants them to wear ponytails. He loves that. And he wants to pet the ponytails. Oops, that's going to be up there. That's better. I'm going to do a bigger flower up there, so it'll be fine. So, today, my hair was long enough. I did a tiny one, but it didn't stay a while ago. But today my hair was long enough that I could actually do this ponytail. And Owen was so excited. And it stayed all day. But it was emotional because all those moments in time, and I wasn't at my strongest today because I had my port taken out yesterday, and I don't feel very good yet. There's lots still going on. Your body's not back, and I'm not in great shape, and I gained a ton of weight when I was on the chemo, because I kept eating because I was so sick the first couple weeks, that I had to, well, I didn't have to, I wanted to gain weight so that when I got sick and I would lose weight, it wouldn't be as traumatic as if I was still my skinny weight and lost all of it, if that makes sense. So I just, went through a lot with my weight and with emotions, just cancer. It's serious business. And, my son is only 13, and there's so much. So knowing all of that, it was just an emotional day, emotional moments. So this is kind of like the fall version of the more springy one. Honestly, this is probably more my colors, and if it was on a pink background, it would be even more, because I like purple, but pink, orange, and purple are my favorite colors. But I just wanted to do it again. So this is kind of a little more fallish, maybe. I don't know. I got a couple new colors today, and so I decided to do all purples. I wasn't going to do purples. I was going to do more orangey colors, but the purples were there, and so I sound like I have a frog in my throat. It's been crying, I guess is why. But I think I probably am going to do a couple more because I like them. They make me happy. This one's probably a little more aloha, the way this one's more like my roosters or my birds. That one's more like my trees, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so we had a lot of emotions today, Owen and I, and that's some days you just have all the emotions, and today was one of those. So it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I feel like I need another one up here, and we're about done. Oh, I'm hoping that I can sleep tonight. We're supposed to meet our friend tomorrow if the weather is... We're supposed to get more snow, even though our snow melted away today. We're supposed to get more snow tomorrow, but it's not supposed to be until later, so we'll see. We shall see. So, anyways, we do O for Owen, since he helps me with our backgrounds, and then L and B. There we go. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of our day. Toodles, toodles.